Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 297 based on novel. So let's start. When the celestial fragment collapsed, the smell of the flowers landed on Wang Lin. He felt an unimaginable impact hit his body, and his insides popped and he coughed out a mouthful of blood. Terror filled Wang Lin's eyes and he quickly retreated. Who the hell is she? Could she really be a flower celestial? Wang Lin's scalp felt numb. He knew he was fortunate he had the body of an ancient god. If he was a normal cultivator, he would have died without a doubt. Even so, the pain from his body made his mind tremble. The collapse of the celestial fragment shocked Wang Lin. Although cracks had appeared on the celestial fragment due to the All-Seer spell, it was still an extremely powerful protective treasure. However, it had collapsed in such a strange way from one point of the woman's finger. Wang Lin couldn't help but gasp and quickly retreat. The woman was surprised, and she walked out a few steps. Looking at Wang Lin with her cold gaze, she raised her right hand and gently pointed at the void. At this instant, the sense of crisis drowned Wang Lin like a flood. He only felt a pain from his chest as if a sharp thorn was going to pierce it. Under this intense pain, he activated his ancient god power without hesitation. Popping sounds came from his chest and then an illusionary plant appeared before his chest, but its roots were broken by the ancient god power. The woman in white frowned and calmly said, "No wonder you dared to invade the cave, you indeed have some qualifications." With that, a jade-like hand pointed to the side. Master Hollow Wind, who was ready to escape in case something went wrong, was immediately surrounded by blooming flowers. The fragrance covered him and his expression immediately became pale. He immediately sat down to cultivate in the sea of flowers regardless of the crisis. He had to cultivate to force the poison out of his body as fast as possible. The moment he sat down, the flowers closed in and surrounded Master Hollow Wind. From a distance, you could see an endless sea of flowers, but not Master Hollow Wind. The three Chen brothers and Big Head were terrified. They wanted to retreat, but they were covered by flowers. Before they could use any spells, they were surrounded by the sea of flowers. As for the Silver Corpse, she was also surrounded by the sea of flowers, so it was impossible to see her anymore. Looking around, Wang Lin was the only one remaining. The woman's cold gaze fell on Wang Lin. Wang Lin felt his mind tremble once more. A ray of blue light shot out from his right eye and the airshow light shield appeared before him. Immediately following that, popping soundings could be heard before him. Flowers appeared in the air and shattered as the airshow light shield swept by. The flowers scattered, but the strange fragrance became even stronger. The woman in white frowned even harder. She took a hairpin out of her hair with her right hand and, after looking at it, threw it forward. A sharp sound that could pierce the origin soul immediately echoed across the cave. The hairpin flew directly at Wang Lin. It was so fast that even Wang Lin wasn't able to keep track of it. He could only hear popping sounds echo around him as he retreated. Every pop meant the airshow light shield being hit. The feeling of life and death crisis enveloped Wang Lin's body. He couldn't see through her cultivation, but he felt that her cultivation was more terrifying than Master Flamespark's. The woman raised her right hand once more, forming a strange seal, and softly said, "Burial flower." After she spoke, countless flowers bloomed wherever there was light. There was simply too many flowers, causing the cave to become a world of flowers. The moment she said, "Burial flower," the flowers seemed to reach their peak and began to wilt. As the stems rapidly withered, the petals fell off like a rain of petals. As the woman's hand formed that seal, all of the petals surged at Wang Lin as if they wanted to drown him. Without a path of retreat, there was a flash of cold light in Wang Lin's eyes. It had been a long time since he was pushed into a corner where he could die at a moment of carelessness. His hand formed a seal without hesitation and he pointed up at the sky and shouted, "Call the wind." Black wind appeared within the sea of flowers and gathered on Wang Lin's right hand. It turned into 4 black dragons and blasted out cold air. Without pausing, his right hand changed seals and he shouted, "Summon the rain." As the 4 black dragons roared, a large amount of rain descended and covered the sky. Large amounts of celestial spiritual energy gathered from all directions and entered the raindrops in the blink of an eye. As Call the Wind and Summon the Rain were used in succession, they began to fuse. Within the wind, the power of the rain was mighty, and within the rain, the wind was even colder. As a result, this caused the countless raindrops to turn into ice crystals. As Wang Lin pointed, the 4 black dragons roared and the ice rain fell straight toward the woman in white. This was a moment of crisis, and Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. His hands formed a seal once more, and without hesitation, he shouted, "Magic Arsenal!" With that, a ray of black light flew out from his mouth. It was the 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp. The 18 Hell Sealing Stamp flashed brightly. As Wang Lin waved his sleeves, the battle souls inside the stamp flew out and filled the cave. They charged at the woman in white along with Call the Wind and Summon the Rain. Magic Arsenal caused a ripple in the sea of flowers. This was the first time Wang Lin had used all 3 of Bai Fan's celestial spells. The power of the 3 spells was unsurpassable. The black wind blew back the petals and the ice crystals caused popping sounds to echo across the cave. Finally, the countless battle souls from Magic Arsenal, especially Blood Ancestors, swept the area. The 3 spells formed a storm that swept the world. Rumble, rumble. The rumbling was heaven-shaking. The fusion of 3 of Bai Fan's spells forced an opening in the sea of flowers and closed in on the woman in white. Wang Lin took a step forward and cracking sounds came from his body. He changed from his original size to more than 1,000 feet tall. The azure light shield changed with him and became hundreds of feet large. It circled around Wang Lin. The aura of a royal ancient god spread out without reservation. Wang Lin let out a roar as his right hand mercilessly threw a punch. A powerful gust of wind appeared and increased the speed of the 3 spells before it. It broke through everything and arrived before the woman in white. The 4 dragons roared and countless ice crystals rained down. There were also countless battle souls filling the sky. The expression of the woman in white changed slightly as she stared at Wang Lin's large body and softly said, "Ancient God." She raised her right hand, and a flash of green light emitted from her hand. Then a mysterious ball of light appeared. The moment he saw this ball of light, Wang Lin, who had turned into an ancient god, felt that powerful sense of crisis once more. This time it was several times stronger than before, and all of it was because of that ball of light. The woman in white's expression became even colder, and she threw the ball of light. It flew forward at the storm and collided with it in an instant. There was no sound, but the scene before him brought Wang Lin a great deal of shock. The moment that ball of light and the storm touched, they collapsed. The collapse of the ball of light caused a strange change. The 3 spells that were original fused separated back into 3 spells. However, they changed once more and continued to degrade until they disappeared into nothing before the woman. Even the battle souls from Magic Arsenal went back into the 18 Hell Celestial Sealing Stamp. All of this was done in an instant and Wang Lin's expression changed greatly. His fist had lost the storm around it, but still closed in on the woman in white. The woman in white's expression was calm and her eyes were cold. Another ball of light appeared in her hand and she threw it directly at Wang Lin. Source Origin. Wang Lin clearly felt that there was a sliver of Source Origin inside that ball of light. Only Source Origin could cause the 3 spells to collapse like that. If it touched him, even though he had the body of an ancient god, he would collapse. During this moment of crisis, Wang Lin's third eye suddenly opened. As the ball of light closed in, sharp, red light came out of the third eye. The power of the third eye was released completely. The moment the third eye opened, the red light opened up like a fan and covered the ball of light. Then the Source Origin inside the third eye slowly came out. This was the first time Wang Lin had battled with the Source Origin energy inside his third eye. Although the red light looked peaceful, it was extremely dangerous. The moment the red light came out of Wang Lin's third eye, the expression of the woman in white changed for the first time. The ball of light dissipated at a rapid rate under the red light. However, as it dissipated, the bit of remaining Source Origin energy within Wang Lin's third eye also rapidly dissipated as if they were cancelling each other out. This process only lasted an instant, but it felt like thousands of years for Wang Lin. After the ball of light dissipated, Wang Lin quickly retreated, then the dim, red light disappeared and the third eye closed. The clothes on his back were soaked in cold sweat as Wang Lin retreated. The woman in white didn't change, but her eyes became serious and she slowly said, "Ancient God, by Fan's celestial spells, source origin energy. Who are you?" Wang Lin dreaded the woman in white a lot, but he had to break through and enter the cave. At this moment, Wang Lin's mind trembled and he remembered the strange expression the old man had after seeing the stop spell. Wang Lin rarely gambled in his life, but right now he had to gamble. If I fail, then I can only escape to find ancient demon Bei Lu to help me break through this celestial cave. No matter what, I must enter. Wang Lin clenched his teeth as he lifted his hand and pointed. The stop spell suddenly appeared. The moment the woman in white saw the stop spell, her expression changed. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he decided to slap his bag of holding. The celestial pagoda appeared and Qing Shuang's corpse floated between Wang Lin and the woman in white. It was as if the woman in white was struck by lightning. As the woman stared at Qing Shuang's body, her body trembled. After a long time, she closed her eyes, but the trembling of her eyelashes couldn't conceal the shock in her heart. Wang Lin had his heart at his throat as he closely watched the change in the woman's expression. He was gambling that this woman would recognize the stop spell and that she would recognize Qing Shuang. Although it was the perfect time to launch a sneak attack, Wang Lin didn't do any of this. This woman gave Wang Lin a powerful sense of crisis. When she used that sliver of source origin, Wang Lin was terrified. Though Master Flame's Park had the aura of source origin, even he couldn't use it. However, this woman had actually used source origin, which was unimaginable to Wang Lin. When facing this kind of enemy, it was pointless to launch a sneak attack. The surroundings were completely quiet, with only the faint fragrance of the flowers and the petals falling forming a sea of petals. Time slowly passed as the two pondered. After 15 minutes, the woman in white opened her eyes and looked at Qing Shuang's body. She opened her mouth as if she wanted to speak. However, just at this moment, there were a loud rumble from far away in the cave. During this moment of silence, that sound was extremely harsh. At the same time, cursing slowly came from the distance. Run? No treasure I have my eyes on can escape. Sichu Nan's arrogant voice echoed as he chased after a ray of white light. There was a small bottle inside that white light. This bottle was made of white jade. From a distance, it gave off a mellow light as if it was a fat sheep. Sichu Nan emitted a black gas that surrounded him as he chased after the small bottle. Seeing the small bottle running faster, Sichu Nan's hand formed a seal and black mist appeared before the bottle. The black mist turned into a fierce beast that attempted to devour the small bottle. The small bottle suddenly stopped at the moment a fierce jumped at it, and the bottle shattered into countless fragments. The fragments pierced through the beast and reformed on the other end. Then it sped up and flew forward. Sichu Nan's eyes lit up as he laughed and chased after it once more. As the treasure ran from Sichu Nan, they quickly closed in on Wang Lin and the woman in white. Wang Lin's eyes shined an indiscernible amount. The white bottle was very fast and shot toward the woman in white. The woman in white frowned as she waved her jade-like hand. The bottle gently landed in her hand. However, as soon as the woman in white grabbed the small bottle, it suddenly shattered into countless pieces and flew toward her. Sichu Nan's body flickered and he shouted, "Wang Lin, let's go!" Wang Lin didn't hesitate to retrieve Qing Shuang and the pagoda when the bottle landed in the woman's hand. Then he retreated like a bolt of lightning. Sichu Nan's face revealed a fierce expression and both of his hands formed a seal. Then his hand pressed down and he shouted, "Celestial spell, spatial crack." As his voice echoed, distortion appeared in the space before them. Popping sounds echoed and countless vortexes appeared from nowhere and flew at the woman in white. Taking this opportunity, Sichu Nan quickly retreated and charged toward the entrance of the cave with Wang Lin. The shattered pieces of the white bottle rushed at the woman's face. However, with just one glare, the fragment stopped mid-air. With a calm expression, she walked forward. The countless vortexes formed by Sichu Nan's celestial spell spatial crack rushed forward, but they strangely went through the woman in white. They didn't cause her to slow down at all. "Do you not want to enter the cave?" the woman in white slowly asked as she walked. Although her voice was still cold, there was no killing intent within it. As Wang Lin retreated, a hint of hesitation appeared in his eyes. He stopped and stared at the woman in white. Sichu Nan frowned and also stopped. Earlier, he had left by himself to search for treasures, but he soon noticed the crisis Wang Lin was facing. In particular, Master Hollowwind and others' disappearance shocked him. However, with Wang Lin here, he couldn't escape on his own, so he risked coming here to create an opportunity to escape. At the moment he saw Wang Lin stop, Sichu Nan also stopped without hesitation. He coldly stared at the woman in white that was closing in. Wang Lin clasped his hands and calmly asked, "Is Senior allowing us to enter?" The woman in white pondered for a long time before letting out a sigh. She turned around toward the palace and said, "Follow me." With that, the woman in white floated toward the palace. Wang Lin pondered a bit before glancing at Sichu Nan. Sichu Nan's eyes lit up and he slowly said, "This person is somewhat strange. If you won't follow, then the two of you can leave. Your companions will be waiting for you outside." The woman's faint voice came from the palace. Her figure had already arrived outside the palace and entered the darkness of the palace with a single step. Thinking of the change in the woman's expression, Wang Lin's eyes filled with determination and he slowly said, "Sichu, I'm going in by myself." Sichu Nan naturally knew that if both of them entered and anything happened, they'd have no way to resist. He nodded without saying a word. There was something between him and Wang Lin that didn't need to be explained. It was a kind of trust. Wang Lin didn't say any more. He charged forward and arrived before the palace in the blink of an eye. Then he took a deep breath and stepped into the palace. The palace was completely dark. Not only did this darkness obstruct his vision, it also obstructed his divine sense. He could only spread his divine sense out a few dozen feet around him. Wang Lin could vaguely see few large shadows that were like statues. However, it was too dark, so he couldn't see clearly. This palace was completely quiet aside from the soft footsteps before him that told him the woman in white was gradually walking away. Just at this moment, the footsteps disappeared and a faint voice sounded within the hall. "What is your name?" Wang Lin answered, "Wang Lin." "Wang," the woman seemed to be talking to herself as she muttered, "He really is named Wang." The palace became silent once more. Although Wang Lin's expression was neutral, he was extremely vigilant. His origin energy filled his body, and if there were any abnormalities, he would retaliate. In addition, the third eye appeared between his eyebrows. Although it wasn't open, the source origin energy inside would spread out with a thought. Wang Lin dreaded the woman in white a lot. He was at the peak of the mid-stage of Nirvana Scryer and could fight Nirvana Cleanser cultivators with his ancient god body. However, Wang Lin knew that he wasn't a match for this woman. However, there was something he had to do even if it was dangerous. That's just how Wang Lin was. While pondering, the woman seemed to wave her right hand and a ray of light appeared. This light wasn't ordinary, it was like a fire in the darkness as it quickly lit up the area in a dim glow. Borrowing the dim light, Wang Lin clearly saw what was inside the palace, and he gasped. This palace was like a Daoist temple of the mortals. There was a total 9 statues inside the palace. 8 statues were on the sides, and the one at the center seemed to be carved with various things and gave off a glimmer of gold. However, this golden light was very weak. The moment it appeared, it would be devoured by the darkness. As a result, it could only be kept inside the statue, making the statue give off a strange aura. This was a statue of a middle-aged man. He was very handsome and his eyes had a profound look. He wore a yellow robe and gave off the aura of a noble. The yellow robe had 9 purple dragons embroidered on it and revealed their ferocious expressions. Although they were mere images, one could still feel their unimaginable fierceness. In addition, there were carved clouds that filled the background. However, these clouds weren't white, but black. These black clouds made the middle-aged man look very dignified. When Wang Lin looked at the middle-aged man, he felt a buzz in his mind, and an unimaginable aura smashed into his body. This aura was the strongest aura Wang Lin had ever felt. Whether it was Qing Shui, Master Flame Spark, or the All-Seer, their auras were far weaker. Even the mysterious third step elder from all heaven was a bit weaker. This aura was so powerful, it created an invisible impact. Only one look from Wang Lin made his body tremble, causing him to cough out blood. He quickly retreated and wanted to use his origin energy, only to discover that, to his horror, his origin energy had retreated. It had shrank back as if it was afraid to appear before this power. There was an invisible pressure that caused the origin energy inside Wang Lin's body to be suppressed by force the moment it moved. No matter how much his origin energy struggled, it was pointless. The world's origin energy had to yield before this statue. Wang Lin was frightened. At this moment, he could only hear his heart rapidly beating. It was as if his blood had stopped flowing, but the next moment, all his blood rushed toward his heart. Wang Lin had never encountered this kind of situation in his more than 1,300 years of cultivation, but now was not the time to think about it. His origin energy couldn't be used, and the blood flowing inside his body made him tremble. An unimaginable pressure wanted to make him kneel and yield to the might of this statue. Wang Lin's eyes shined red as he let out a roar and his ancient god power erupted. Ancient gods didn't respect the heavens or follow Tao, they walked against the heavens. It was part of the ancient order. How could a mere statue make an ancient god yield? As his ancient god power filled his body, Wang Lin stood up straight. His eyes were like lightning as he met the gaze of the statue for a second time. He felt a rumbling in his mind that spread across his body. While his body trembled, his eyes revealed an unyielding gaze. There is nothing that can make ancient gods yield. The heavens can't, the laws of the world can't, and you also can't. The ancient god stars rapidly rotated between Wang Lin's eyebrows, and popping sound could be heard from inside his body. Although he didn't grow into his true ancient god form, the strength of his body increased rapidly. His powerful body allowed more ancient god power to fill him. Wang Lin was able to stand there like mountain as an unyielding aura erupted from his body. This aura resisted the suppression the statue released. Silent ripples echoed, forming a storm that swept through the hall, causing Wang Lin to retreat once more. Wang Lin let out a roar as he struggled to stop while he stared at the statue. At this moment, he had the illusion that the statue was alive and was coldly looking at him. Roar? Wang Lin suddenly raised his head and the roar of an ancient god was released. All life had to back down before the roar of the ancient gods. None of them were qualified to stand before it. When he let out the roar, the entire cave began to rumble as if it couldn't withstand this roar. At the same time, Wang Lin raised his foot and mercilessly took a step forward. Although this step was simple, it was very difficult for Wang Lin. When facing this unimaginable pressure and aura that could make one collapse, the only path was to retreat. However, to retreat was to yield, and if he couldn't reverse the situation, he would have completely yielded. The ancient gods dared to defy the heavens and Tao. If he were to yield to this mere statue, Wang Lin wouldn't be qualified to be a real ancient god. With that one step, Wang Lin could hear the terrifying sounds of things shattering inside his body. Taking this step meant that he was directly confronting that pressure and discarding any room for negotiation. However, this was what the ancient god inheritance within Wang Lin wanted. Retreating 10 steps, 100 steps, or even standing still and struggling while not losing was still too weak-willed. This will determined that the Tao you walked could only follow the will of the heavens. However, talking one step was very different. This meant rebellion, this meant defying. After this step, the pressure from the statue increased several-fold. It was as if countless mountains had smashed down on Wang Lin, not allowing him to resist. Blood sprayed out of the pores in his back, but he took another step forward. I, Wang Lin, am a heaven-defying cultivator. I dare to defy the heavens and fate, so how could I back down here? Wang Lin's step was like walking upstream and angering the heavens. An even more powerful pressure crashed down on him. A seeker of Tao could be born at dawn and die by sunset. A heaven-defying cultivator has a defiant heart. What is there to fear? It is merely death. Under this unimaginable pressure, blood sprayed out from Wang Lin's body. He was covered in blood, but he laughed. His laughter was filled with an unyielding aura. The current Wang Lin had a clear mind as all useless thoughts were thrown away. The only thing in his mind was the word, defy. Back then, he defied the heavens in the demon spirit land to reach the ascendant stage. Here, he faced the pressure once more in the demon spirit land. The defying nature that was sealed by Wang Lin and suppressed during his time at all heaven bloomed once more. Everything was like karma. While he laughed, Wang Lin took another step. The moment he took the third step, the pressure in the palace disappeared as if it never existed. The woman in white stared at Wang Lin from under the statue and revealed a complex emotion. Only Wang Lin's laughter echoed in the palace and slowly dissipated. The moment he saw the statue, he guessed who the person was. The person's appearance was somewhat similar to Qing Shuang's. Also, only one person could have a mere statue give off such a powerful pressure. Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Wang Lin's back was soaked in sweat. The danger he felt just before was unprecedented. If not for the power of the ancient gods, he would have immediately exploded and died. There was a trace of coldness in Wang Lin's gaze as he looked at the woman in white. The woman in white lowered her head and softly said, "You have passed the test." Wang Lin calmly asked, "Who are you?" "One of the 8 imperial concubines, Flower Imperial Concubine Han Yang." The woman looked at the statue. Her eyes were filled with a gentle gaze and a deep sense of love. She let out a sigh and waved her jade-like hand. The ground trembled and the floor tiles shook and floated into the air. It was as if a strange force had filled the area, causing all the floor tiles to fly into the air. They formed a strange formation between Wang Lin and the woman in white. Without the floor tiles, the floor showed the starry sky. The darkness was filled with countless nebulae and dazzling stars. What was even more incredible was that the stars weren't static, but slowly moving. This caused Wang Lin's eyes to narrow. This demon spirit land is a celestial cave, and it drifts in space via a special method. What you see is no an illusion, but reality. Enter this transfer array and you can enter the sealed land. If you have the ability to open it, you can enter the real celestial cave. Is that celestial cave where Celestial Emperor Qing Lin is? Wang Lin's gaze moved from the stars to the formation made by the floor tiles. The woman in white silently pondered and looked at the statue. After a long time, she softly said, "When he came back, he was already injured. Then he was attacked by 2 lowly outsiders. After he returned, he activated the celestial cave to heal. Originally, there was no entrance, but then he created 4 entrances. If all 4 entrances are opened, a true entrance will appear in the demon spirit land to where he is under closed door cultivation. You have the stop spell, Qing Shuang's corpse, and are named Wang, so I won't stop you. After you enter the transfer array, your companions will appear in your mind." The woman let out a sigh as she turned around and walked into the depth of the hall. Wang Lin looked at her figure that was filled with loneliness and melancholy. Wang Lin quickly asked, "What do you mean by named Wang?" "If there is a chance, you will find out." The voice of the woman in white was weak as she slowly sank into the darkness. Wang Lin looked at the distance and quickly said, "With Senior's power, why won't you come with me?" The woman in white that had half entered the darkness suddenly stopped. Her back was facing Wang Lin when she revealed a bitter expression and softly said, "I can't go." As she spoke, her body completely entered the darkness and disappeared. The woman in white appeared within the depths of the palace where Wang Lin couldn't perceive her. The bitter expression on her face was still there. She gave off a white glow, but this white light merged with the darkness, so no one outside could see it. The woman gradually stopped moving and an azure light spread across her feet. Soon, it covered her body and she disappeared in a flash. What replaced her was an extremely beautiful flower that bloomed in the depths of the hall. The Flower Imperial Concubine is already dead. The only thing that remains is a flower celestial that can't leave this cave. The flower bloomed, but there was a feeling of sadness as this beauty bloomed in the darkness, where no one could see it. While Wang Lin pondered, he looked at the transfer array before him and stepped inside. However, the moment he approached, his gaze fell on the darkness in the distance as if he had spotted something. He entered the transfer array and it began to shine. Then Wang Lin's figure disappeared inside. When he reappeared, he was in an illusory space, and a large formation was carved into the ground. There was a large black stone at the center. After carefully observing his surroundings, Wang Lin entered the large formation and arrived next to the black stone. A moment later, he slapped his bag of holding and the key to the celestial cave that he obtained flew out. The moment it flew out, it turned into green smoke and entered the black stone. In an instant, light came from the large formation. One by one, the runes floated into the air and filled the area. The formation slowly became active. The moment the formation activated, a subtle connection appeared between the formation and Wang Lin. He felt his vision blur, then he saw everything within the fourth cave. It was as if the entire cave was in his mind. With one thought, he could break any restriction and control everything. Except he had no control over the palace. He saw Situ Nan and Master Hollow Wind and company, who had disappeared under the sea of flowers. With a thought, Master Hollow Wind, the three Chen brothers, Big Head, and Lei Ji disappeared. Situ Nan stood there frowning. Ever since Wang Lin had disappeared, he had been on guard, and a cold light flashed across his eyes. Just at this moment, Situ Nan's expression changed as he felt a divine sense sweep past him. This divine sense was very familiar. Wang Lin. Situ Nan's body disappeared after Wang Lin's divine sense swept by. When he reappeared, he was next to the large formation. The cave has been opened completely. Lei Ji, your cultivation is lacking, so wait here for us to return. As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the formation on the ground began to flash. At the same time, a shocking change occurred in the demon spirit land. This video will end here.